The history of Christmas is a tapestry woven from centuries of religious, cultural, and social threads, a celebration that has evolved over millennia into the global holiday we recognize today. Though it is now widely known as a Christian holiday commemorating the birth of Jesus Christ, its roots stretch back far beyond Christianity into ancient pagan traditions, historical events, and the merging of various customs over time. To understand the history of Christmas fully, we must delve deeply into the origins of its various traditions, explore how it became tied to the story of Christ's nativity, and trace its evolution through different cultures, eras, and interpretations, ultimately shaping the multifaceted holiday we celebrate today. Long before the birth of Jesus, many civilizations celebrated the winter solstice, a pivotal moment when the days, which had been growing shorter and colder, began to lengthen once again. The winter solstice, typically falling on December 21st or 22nd in the northern hemisphere, marked the symbolic death and rebirth of the sun. For ancient peoples who relied heavily on agriculture and the natural cycles of the seasons, this was a time of hope and renewal. In Scandinavia, the Norse celebrated Yule from the solstice through January. Large logs, known as Yule logs, were set on fire, and people would feast until the log burned out, a process that could take several days. Each spark of the burning log was believed to represent a new pig or calf to be born in the coming year. Similarly, the ancient Romans celebrated Saturnalia, a festival in honor of Saturn, the god of agriculture. Saturnalia began on December 17th and typically lasted a week. During this time, Roman social norms were turned on their head. Slaves were treated to feasts, gifts were exchanged, and people engaged in revelry and merriment, a far cry from the otherwise rigid Roman social structure. As Christianity spread across the Roman Empire, church leaders faced the challenge of converting these deeply ingrained pagan traditions. Rather than abolishing the popular festivals, they co-opted them, infusing them with Christian meaning to ease the transition for new converts. By the 4th century, the Church decided to establish a holiday to celebrate the birth of Jesus Christ. The Bible does not specify the exact date of Jesus' birth, and early Christians celebrated it at different times of the year. However, Pope Julius I is widely believed to have chosen December 25th to coincide with the Roman festival of Saturnalia and the pagan celebration of the solstice. This date also aligned with the Roman festival of Dies Natalis Solis Invicti, or the birthday of the unconquered sun, which celebrated the rebirth of the sun god Mithras. By assigning December 25th to the birth of Jesus, the Church sought to replace or Christianize these existing celebrations, effectively transforming the focus from the rebirth of the sun to the birth of the Son of God. The early celebrations of Christmas were markedly different from the modern holiday. In medieval Europe, Christmas was more akin to the raucous festivals of Saturnalia. It was a time of feasting, drinking, and public merrymaking, often blending religious observance with excess and revelry. In England, during the 17th century, the Puritans, who viewed such celebrations as immoral and lacking in biblical justification, went so far as to ban Christmas. Oliver Cromwell, who led the Puritan government after the English Civil War, outlawed Christmas festivities, viewing them as an affront to the sacredness of the holiday. The ban was lifted with the restoration of the monarchy in 1660, but the controversy surrounding Christmas lingered for some time. In the American colonies, particularly in Puritan strongholds like Massachusetts, Christmas was similarly frowned upon, and celebrations were subdued or even banned well into the 18th century. It was not until the 19th century that Christmas began to resemble the holiday we know today. This transformation was influenced by a combination of literature, cultural shifts, and the growing popularity of Victorian ideals. In 1823, the publication of Clement Clarke Moore's poem, A Visit from St. Nicholas, commonly known as The Night Before Christmas, played a significant role in shaping the modern image of Christmas. The poem introduced the world to the jolly, rotund figure of St. Nicholas who delivers gifts to children on Christmas Eve. Around the same time, Charles Dickens's A Christmas Carol, published in 1843, emphasized themes of charity, family, and goodwill, reinforcing the idea that Christmas should be a time of generosity and reflection. Dickens's portrayal of Ebenezer Scrooge's transformation from a miser to a man of compassion and joy captured the public's imagination and helped reframe Christmas as a holiday centered on family, kindness, and moral redemption. The Victorian era also saw the introduction of many beloved Christmas customs. Queen Victoria and Prince Albert popularized the tradition of the Christmas tree in England, a practice that Albert, who was of German descent, brought with him from his homeland. Images of the royal family gathered around a decorated Christmas tree were widely published and emulated by the public. Christmas cards, first introduced by Sir Henry Cole in 1843, became another staple of the holiday season, providing people with a way to express their love and good wishes to family and friends. The practice of exchanging gifts, which had pagan and medieval roots, became increasingly central to Christmas celebrations, particularly as the holiday became more commercialized. In the United States, Christmas underwent a similar transformation. The late 19th and early 20th centuries saw Christmas solidified as a national holiday, celebrated across religious and cultural lines. The figure of Santa Claus evolved from a mixture of European legends, including the Dutch Sinterklaas and the British Father Christmas. By the early 20th century, Santa Claus had taken on his now iconic form, thanks in part to the illustrations of Thomas Nast and the marketing campaigns of companies like Coca-Cola. Santa Claus, with his red suit, white beard, and sleigh pulled by reindeer, became the embodiment of holiday cheer and gift-giving. Throughout the 20th century, Christmas continued to grow in cultural significance, expanding beyond its religious origins to become a broadly celebrated secular holiday. Movies, songs, and television specials further cemented Christmas traditions in popular culture. Films like It's a Wonderful Life, Miracle on 34th Street, and Home Alone captured the spirit of the season, while songs like White Christmas by Bing Crosby and Jingle Bell Rock became timeless staples. The holiday's focus on family, togetherness, and goodwill made it a cherished time for people of all backgrounds, even those who did not identify as Christian. Despite its commercialization, Christmas has retained elements of its religious significance for millions of people around the world. For Christians, the holiday remains a sacred time to reflect on the birth of Jesus and the message of hope and salvation that it represents. Churches hold special services, including midnight masses and nativity plays, to commemorate the occasion. The Advent season, marked by the lighting of candles and daily reflections, prepares believers for the celebration of Christ's birth. In modern times, Christmas is a global phenomenon celebrated in diverse ways across different cultures. In Japan, where only a small percentage of the population identifies as Christian, Christmas has become a secular celebration focused on romance, gift-giving, and elaborate light displays. In Mexico, traditions like Las Posadas reenact Mary and Joseph's search for shelter, culminating in festive gatherings. In Ethiopia, Christmas is celebrated on January 7th, in line with the Ethiopian Orthodox calendar, and is marked by religious processions and traditional feasts. These variations highlight the adaptability and universality of Christmas, a holiday that has transcended its historical and cultural origins to become a worldwide celebration of joy, generosity, and connection. The history of Christmas is a story of transformation, blending ancient customs, religious significance, and modern traditions into a holiday that continues to evolve. It reflects humanity's enduring need for hope, renewal, and community during the darkest time of the year. Whether celebrated as a religious observance, a time for family and friends, or simply a season of festive cheer, Christmas remains a testament to the rich and complex tapestry of human culture and tradition.